With Gabriel picking up the ball. None of us had even noticed it. We didn't ask you about it after the game. Obviously, Bayern were very unhappy. What did you make of that?
Yeah, I did notice it, especially after when it was certain reaction from them. I think the referees, I think they use the law and what the law says as well, to use common sense and whether you take an advantage or not from that situation, which there isn't any advantage, and then I think that's c'est fini.
It's not something you need to have a word with Gabriel and David about, is it? Because that's something they do quite a lot between them.
Just to clarify, I think it's worth doing it and to understand that just in case, don't do it again.
And I just want to ask you about Zinchenko, please.
Yeah.
In the fan base, and there's sort of, last year he was so important, everyone saw that. And this year he seems like he's perhaps not got the same sort of love as he did last year. And people have questioned his defending a bit more. How important does he remain to what you do, and how much did he change the game when he came on?
It's very important, and you have to ask the players as well to play in their strengths. And I think Alex has got the personality to play in any game under any condition, being himself, and that's a big thing to have. And he has some difficulties, especially with injuries, to find the rhythm and to find the consistency. And now he's back on it. Now he's got a few games under his belt, and he's playing better and better, and he's a really, really important player for us.
Okay, Jordan, son.
Hi, Mikel. With how strong your bench is right now, you're probably going to have unhappy players who feel they should be starting but aren't. How are you managing that? Is that something that you quite like, that they're on the bench and they're quite unhappy and they're desperate to prove you wrong?
No, the behavior of the bench, unhappy, no. But I want players that are very happy to come on the field to make an impact. Unhappy players on the bench, I don't want. I want players that if they are unhappy to come and talk to me and understand why and try to explain it. But these relationships are always the same. That they have to have that will to play, and they can be unhappy on match day. It's not the moment to be unhappy.
And Gabriel Jesus, when he came on, had an amazing impact.
Yeah.
He looked like he played with a bit of anger, like he was trying to prove to you that he should have started. I think that's what I mean, but is it that you'd like players to come on and be angry at you rather than...
They can be angry at me, that's fine. But they have to make it professional, not personal, because it's my role to make those decisions. It's not the person I'm putting on the bench, is the player. And Gabi had exactly the mindset that you asked him, because I could see in his eyes that he was ready to make an impact. He loves the competition, and I think he was tremendous when he came on Tuesday.
And just finally, picking up on Simon's question, if he was needed to start every game until now until the end of the season, physically, could he do it? Is he in that position where he can do that?
It's possible that yes. He hasn't done it, but not now. He hasn't done it in 7 years. When you look at the history, in 7 years, he hasn't done it. But can he do it? Yes, he's prepared. He's physically well now, and as well it would be determined, how much he gets kicked. The kind of fatigue element that builds into a game in relation to the scoreline. A lot of factors, but he is ready. He looks really good now.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Mikel. What have you made of Liverpool recently against United? They obviously faltered their 2-2 draw, and then Atalanta the other day 3-0.
Enough in my garden to look after my garden, so I don't want to give any opinion about other clubs.
But from that, can you learn something from that? Obviously,
well, the difficulty of winning a match in any competition. You go to Europe, you go in the Premier League, to any round, and this is so difficult to win.
And with Gabriel Jesus, on Monday he spoke of his injury woes over the past year in terms of his knee. In terms of his long-term career, do you think it could possibly have long-term ramifications with his recent injuries?
No, nothing. I don't think there is any relation. When you see him train, the way he trained today, again, there is nothing there. Injuries are part of football. He had a few, but you look how many games he already played at his age, and the level of game he's played is unbelievable career he's having. So that's not a concern.
Gary?
Mikel, when you played away in Porto, for some of them it was probably the first time of that type of game, and they sort of adjusted for the second leg to kind of cope with the kind of Porto tactics. The other day, it looked like quite a few of them couldn't necessarily deal with the occasion around. Is there something you would do before Tuesday to what you did between Porto and the legs, and what you did before Tuesday to get them back with that mindset that they've kind of now they can use the other day for Tuesday?
For sure, it's like putting miles in a car. You have more miles, you have more baggage, more experience, and that's needed, especially in this competition. And it's a lot to learn from the other day, and a lot of positive things to take as well.
Ed?
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
The first goal against Bayern, obviously you're in control of the game up until that point, and it was a real turning point in the match. How much have you analysed that, conceding that goal with your team? How much are you slightly worried that sort of the wave of confidence that was in your defence might have seeped away a little bit, just that little patch?
Well, it does, obviously, when we concede the 2 goals the way we have done, it does affect. But it's what you do afterwards, and you are losing 1-2 after being in total control of the match, and then you have to play that game. And you never done it, and it's Bayern Munich, and you're 2-1 down, and the expectation was very different, and now you have to go with that. I think the players were exceptional at that, because any other team collapses, and we didn't. And we were stayed in the game, and we were focused, and we made some changes, we had some impact, and we got into the draw, and we have learned a lot. So it was a great experience to have.
And do you think that shows you how far the team's come, from this time last year, obviously, completely evolved as a side?
Yes, for sure. I was really impressed with that. I told them because it's not easy. It's easy from the stand to just put in a single image without giving any context. No, football game is a story, and the story happens for a reason. It's what happened in the first minute has an effect in the second one. What happened after 10 minutes, it has an effect of what happened 3 days ago in a different game. You cannot isolate the pictures and then make adjustment of that. It doesn't work like that.